The Miz. But let's go off and start off with Tessa Blanchard.
Oh, okay.
Because, man, that was what was popping today over on Twitter. So, as you all know, that Tessa Blanchard will be taking on Sami Callihan tomorrow night at Hard to Kill for the Impact World Championship. Well, she came out with a tweet early in the morning, saying that women need to get more together. So, hold on, let me get
Support each other.
They to support each other, and I'm paraphrasing it, but here, let me get it right here. I have it right here. It's gonna have the other tweets involved, but it's okay. She said, "Hey, women, try supporting one another. Cool things happen." Well, that started a big fire over on Twitter, because then you had other women comment towards Tessa Blanchard and stuff that, we've heard about Tessa Blanchard in her past and some of the things that she did, her little beef with Ricochet and other women in the locker room. And as we all know, it's toned down quite a bit, but it resurfaced today over on Twitter. And it started with, I believe, Chelsea Green, right?
That's the first one I've seen.
It was Chelsea Green, then Allison Kay, who's formerly known as Sienna in AEW. And then we had other women chime in. First off, we had Allison Kay say, "Remember when you spat in a black woman's face and called her the N-word in Japan? Was that you supporting women? The audacity of this tweet." Then we had Chelsea Green, who said, "You've consistently put down, bullied, and belittled countless female co-workers, including me. Is that support?" Then we have this tweet right here from a random person over on Twitter talking about Victoria in 2016, mentioning, she didn't mention her by name, but it looks like this is regarding Tessa Blanchard, saying, "At High Spots Super Show, tried to give girl feedback in number 4 match. Babyface didn't want Babyface didn't want it at all. What a slap in the face. Good luck in AEW." No, she's in NW. Did I say AEW? I'm sorry. I meant to say NWA. My apologies.
WWE.
No, Sienna. I may
Oh,
have
I'm
said,
reading Lacey. Sorry. Or Lisa.
I may have said AEW. I apologize. I meant NWA. Now, to move on, we had Rebel, who was a former Impact wrestler who also worked with her in Japan. I'm sorry if the picture's a little bit blurry, but that's the way it came out. She said, "I like to think people change over time, but I can confirm the bad behavior and non-supportive attitude in Japan. I was there." There is also more, everybody. We also had, is it Isla Dawn, I believe? "As someone who experienced your bullying firsthand, received irregular verbal abuse, was spat on, had rumors spread about me, dealt with multiple attempts by you to blacklist me from other companies, plus more, I just pray you now follow your own advice." There was a lot more. I mean, countless women came out. Big Swole, a couple of other ones came out as well, mentioning about her past and how, I guess, toxic she is in the women's locker room. And Sienna did come out with a tweet later on today saying that everybody, how it's this weird timing that all of this is now coming out when she's having this huge match tomorrow night against Sami Callihan, where she has the chance of winning the world championship, becoming the first ever women's men's championship, winning a men's world championship. And she said that she finally got permission to come out with it on Twitter and talk about it. So yes, it looks like it's odd timing, but apparently there's a reason behind it.
Did you see Tessa's boyfriend even tweeted, but then deleted it?
I did not see Tessa's boyfriend tweet, but she did come out with a comment saying that, she denied it. She said she really has nothing else to say because she feels like this is just, over the top, and she has no other reason to comment on it. But wow, man, like seriously, this was a a big shocker tonight with, excuse me, I should say today, over on Twitter. Just when you think wrestling was going to be a little bit quiet today, you had that bombshell of all these women coming out against Tessa Blanchard. We have our Discord, and I did not make a damn, what is it called? Whatever in the chat. I didn't make a link to it yet, but if you haven't already, go follow us over on our Discord. We had a nice little conversation about it earlier today, and Mr. AEW, who I believe is in the chat room, had a good question in the chat room, and he said this, and he said, do you think this is why Tessa Blanchard has just been facing men as of late? Because not only does she just face men on Impact, she just faces men, period, on the indie scene as well. But the big question, and I will get into the chat room, I see your comments, to you, Dave, is this. Do you think, thank you, Command, appreciate that, Adam. Do you think this affects Tessa Blanchard from winning the Men's World Championship tomorrow night at Hard to Kill?
That's tough, because does Impact, cave into the pressure of all this negativity, or do they take it, like some people have been saying, in a positive way because they're getting all this attention for them now? So it's not great publicity, I mean, you all heard the other rumor where there's no such thing as bad publicity. Well, this is kind of bad. It's not. If she wins the world title, a lot of people are probably going to be pissed off.
Oh, we got Mama Sliz in the house saying Tessa's father, Tully Blanchard, was a wrestler from. Yes, you are correct there, mother. Now, here's my question. Now, yes, you say bad publicity could be good publicity in some way.
What do you think?
I think it's not going to affect them whatsoever. I feel like Impact's still going to give the title to Tessa Blanchard. There's no reason for them to go over and just probably switch the title back to switch the probably finish to where Callahan wins, unless maybe she turns heel, possibly. I don't know, but to me, Impact. This is what Impact is hoping, because if Impact really gave a shit, you would think they would have commented on or said something by now. I honestly think Impact is hoping that this is going to get them more viewers tomorrow night on Hard to Kill. I think they're hoping that people tune in to see if Impact maybe turns the tide here and have Callahan win, or to see if she gets any backlash from the crowd, or if they mention this on Impact tomorrow night. So I don't think Impact gives a shit. Honestly, don't think they care whatsoever. They have been very, very open on how they feel about Tessa. That's their number one star, and she's been doing signings and doing all these dates here when they were here in San Antonio. I can only imagine what they did when they were performing tonight. I'm not sure where they're doing their show tonight. But
they did do a media thing today, and Tessa did not do no media stuff, but everyone else was praising Tessa there. So
were they? Okay.
Joey Ryan is saying some good stuff about Tessa, and even Kara Hogan and her girlfriend came out, not so much supporting it, but just saying the same stuff she was trying to put out there. But yeah.
Here, that's a good point. Mr. AEW had an interesting tweet in the chat room saying, let's read it here. I had it say, think about how many women wrestlers you follow or have Twitter accounts. How many of them have said a single thing hyping up Tessa's title shot tomorrow? Now think about how many wrestlers of color were hyping up Kofi's run up to WrestleMania. Good point.
There's one issue that I'm not trying to compare the two because it was said differently. I understand what she said by using that racial slur, and everyone's mad about it, and they have a right to be. But if you flip it over, when Randy Orton said it, no one had a problem with it.
Yeah, but I think it's.
No matter how it was intended or not, it's still the word.
Right, exactly. I agree with you on that. The N word in any type of way said, it's not right, and of course, yeah, Randy Orton did drop it on I think a gaming stream, and it never gained steam. I know some people mentioned it on Twitter, but it never went anything past there. But to spit on someone, and then not only that, you have other women, at least I would say a handful or more, come out and talk about their bad experience with Tessa Blanchard, how she's just a straight up toxic person to be around in that women's locker room. Now, do you feel like that is why she's not getting the support from women in other companies? You haven't seen any from WWE or AEW or any wrestling company come out and support Tessa Blanchard tomorrow night. And we did see, TJP came out, Moose came out, and fucking Madison Rayne with the most moronic tweet ever. Nothing new from her. But what are your thoughts? Do you feel like this will ruin Tessa? I feel like it won't, but it really shows you how toxic she really was back when she was starting up in wrestling.
It's interesting because I think it was Tuesday night. We were just talking. Well, Tessa had a bad reputation back in the day when she was and all that. And everyone's talking about how they wanted to go to AEW and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And now, a few days later, we're sitting here talking about how everyone's from back in 2007 or before then, early 20s, or I don't know how old she is now. But it just seems like all this stuff is like coming up and all this bad. At first it was just Chelsea and then Sienna, and then it's like it's blowing up and more people are coming out. Isla Dawn. It seems like these are people that she might have worked with coming up a lot on the other side. So, man, it just looks so bad right now. I mean, as a fan, you kind of lose a little bit of respect for something like this, but this stuff happens. I'm not saying like to this extent, but there was always known bullying in wrestling. Mm. So if this was 20, 30 years ago, I mean, I think this doesn't come out. And I'm surprised it came out like this, but all the stuff they're saying, like, yeah, it's just despicable. I do lose respect for her a little bit. Or probably a lot.
Let's see. I see the La Parka stuff. We'll get into that. Chelsea Green always got something to say. It's very annoying, said Red Sox fan. Ariel Monroe touched on it as well, says Adam Baum. Also, AK was Sienna in Impact, not AEW. I meant NWA. God damn it. Oh, what's up, Justin? How you doing? Tony thinking about AEW. Didn't Big Swole just call out somebody for a similar situation? I think she was mentioning about Tessa and how that she was trying to get the two parties to kind of...
Yeah, because the girl in question, they were friends or something like that.
Red Sox fans saying Impact reps like, what the fuck is going on? What's up, noob? How you doing tonight? Tessa last did Stardom date was 5/2017. Marion Watson says, okay, even though it's clear as fuck, ain't shit as fucked as a person, that's clear, but damn, this is petty. Everyone's coming out of the woodworks over a type of tweet we see on the daily. Adam Mom says, can we just agree to avoid thinking it'll be a quiet day in wrestling? That's very true. Something was up. She randomly disappeared from Stardom, says Red Sox fan. The reports was what she did at the PC. Yes, we talked about that.
This is coming up big time now.
Bob Ruski says, right, you just don't leave Stardom. This is nothing new. Look at Casey from Square Circle Sirens. Don't know who the hell that is. Sammy's the biggest baby faces. Bob Ruski. Noob says, I thought this year for wrestling Twitter to be positive, but now with this mess with Tessa, it's starting to become disastrous. Yeah. It's weird that people are speaking on it now. That's very true. Hold on, let me get to the chat because there's a lot of comments I missed. Exactly, she's their star, so they can't afford to punish her, says Truth and Loyalty. They had the Brawl and Fan Fest today at 2 Eastern, and it was a good show. I saw some of it. It was inside a mall, it looked like. It was said Randy apologized, said Bobaruski. Red Sox fan says, wrestler just wanted to kill the critics of the first Black World Champ. Don't compare that, says Red Sox fan. Michael Hayes got fired from WWE for saying it, said Brian. Adam Baum says, fun fact, I used the N-word to a friend who just laughed at it. Really? Well, Randy Orton is like, I don't want to stay. He gets a pass because no one should, but it's Randy Orton. He doesn't come off as a racist piece of shit, just a dick in my opinion. Mr. AEW saying she'll still win. They did spend all this time booking only for them to back out because of this. They could still get it off her very soon anyway. Still think it's funny the mental gymnastic fans have been doing to apologize or try to minimize her behavior, though. And I don't buy the they're just jealous thing. In the bigger scheme of things, this is not a big enough deal for so much for her peer group to gang up on her for. Certainly not bigger than, say, being in the main event of WrestleMania. says Mr. AEW. Bill says, when you put something out in the universe, you will not know the reaction you're going to get. Mr. AEW says, and I don't recall hearing all of Becky's old indie peers slagging her on the eve of her biggest moment. Marion Watson says, all this shit I'm hearing about Tessa, she sounds like the biggest pile of shit walking. She's up there with Enzo. Hey, what's up, Jeffrey Cross? How you doing tonight? Shitty people stay in the biz. Look at Teddy Hart's shitstorm. Yeah, I saw that interview with him. What's up, Gannicus? How you doing tonight? Welcome, everybody. Welcome, you guys popping in. She sent a guy a video years ago for taking a shit. She's not right. What? Really? What the hell? I talk about this on Discord. Do you think this is why she wrestles men? Yeah, that's another thing I'd mentioned. Do you think that's the reason why she's been wrestling men a lot lately?
That came up, too. It's like, when you start to think about all this stuff, and I'm sure it crossed your mind, too, it's like...
I never thought about it until this
like
whole story
recently,
came out.
yeah, exactly. You start like, man, is this why she doesn't basically do anything in the locker room with the women or wrestle women at all? I mean, so it's interesting. I mean, I can't believe it, but I mean, it's crazy.
Because the thing is too is like it's a different thing where you have Tessa who's being booked against the men in Impact, but when you see her on the indie scene, she's still facing men. I believe she was just in a death match this past weekend against a man. So it's not like she's going only against men in Impact. It's going on the indie scene as well. Do you feel like maybe women don't want to wrestle against her because they feel like she's not gonna put them over, or she's gonna be that, it's gonna go this way and my way only?
Yeah, I mean, possibly. And another question that I kind of have about this: does this kind of blackball her from other wrestling companies now? Is this why no one else, she hasn't been seen in AEW or the only NXT issue she had? So is this maybe, do they still even want to try to get her after this?
Oh, yep. I see you guys tweeting me out here. It's hard to read these tweets and talk at the same time, but I'll get to them here. I think that like two women on that roster would have wrestled her, said Bobaruski. Probably Grace and someone else. She did buy in, right or no? What are you talking about? Love Tessa and Enzo get shit, but Lars fell off quickly. People don't talk about the shit he said. I think it's because he got shitted on very badly, and that's why we haven't heard from him in quite some time. And not only with Lars, with the whole situation with that, he also has other issues wrong with him as well, mentally. So maybe that's why we haven't seen him at all, because maybe he's struggling against those demons. But it's very interesting. It's a good point with the Lars, and it's just weird, the timing. That's it. The timing of it is just weird, because you're gonna get people like a fucking Madison Rain coming on Twitter and saying that these women are petty and that they're doing this because it's not them in this situation, or it's not this or that. And it in a way, it does sound petty, but then when you have all these other women coming out of the woodwork and talking about it, it's just weird that you would think that the night before her big championship history moment, excuse me, microphone, there you go, that she would get more support from the women than she's getting, right? Or am I wrong on that?
I agree with you, and it's crazy to think, I could be wrong, but was her last women's match against Gail Kim? And that's the last time she wrestled a woman?
I couldn't answer that, to be honest.
At least on a pay-per-view.
It's possible. It's honestly possible, because she has been doing so many fucking tag matches, and she's been tag teaming with facing Callahan and the OVE for the last 8 months, it seems like. So it's very possible. So
because I know her and Taya did have a match in Mexico, like a street fight, and Taya won, but that's the last time she was women's champion, when she lost it to Taya Valkyrie, and then she hasn't been nowhere seen since to any women matches, really.
Can it be there is a hate on Tessa? True. But here's my question for you. All right? And this is for you, Dave, and this is for you, everybody in the chat room. If you're working with Tessa Blanchard, we'll just throw a name out there. Let's say you're Taya Valkyrie. You're the women's champion, right? And you see that Tessa Blanchard is getting all this backlash on Twitter from other women wrestlers. wouldn't you, as a person, as a friend of Tessa, as a locker room quote unquote leader, wouldn't you go out there on Twitter and defend Tessa Blanchard?
Not if they're not wrong. I mean, what if she agrees with them?
That's
Maybe
what I'm saying.
Taya doesn't like her. I mean, and what someone you hate the most, and she hasn't said anything on this.
Gail Kim. Where the fuck is Gail Kim? She wants to go.
Why would she say something?
WWE, they're racist. Vince McMahon, he hates black people. But Tessa Blanchard, all this backlash comes out from her. Where's Gail Kim? Where is Gail Kim? Hiding under Robert Irvin? Like, I want to know, where is Gail Kim? Mrs. I'm going to go after WWE, because she's the biggest activist on that Impact Wrestling in that company. She's always making her little comments about WWE whenever she has the chance to. But that's why she worked with her. But when it's someone inside the company, who am I to say anything about that, right? That's what it seems like to me. Gail Kim could probably lessen this fire a little bit if she came out and said something, because a lot of women respect Gail Kim. Yeah,
but maybe that's also why they put her with Gail Kim at that time, to straighten her up and like get her attitude right or something like that, and maybe that helped change her up a little bit. And now Tessa Weezy. Well, no, we're not saying this is who Tessa is right now. We're just going by what was being brought up from the last 10 or 15 years ago.
Look, other than Madison Rayne, who the fuck is Madison Rayne, Adam Baum? Does anybody give a shit what Madison Rayne says? No. But if it was one of the hierarchy women's in the company, they're women's champion and someone probably a lot of women respect in Gail Kim.
You know what would do her a lot of good Tessa Blanchard some good right now? I don't care Gail Kim or anybody come out on her behalf. She should come out, tweet, say something in a press conference and come out and just say, okay, I did do some stuff I'm not proud of myself for, and I am sorry for what I did in the past. Do that.
Damn, there you go.
Don't just ignore it and say you guys are all lying.
She's calling them liars. She's calling them liars and saying what they're saying is over the top and not true, and that she has no reason to comment on it. That's not a good idea.
Chelsea Green stuff saying, I was nothing but nice to you. I was never mean to you.
Marion Watson says, I'm starting to think Tessa has a lot of deeper problems that goes back to childhood and her relationship with Tully and all kinds of shit. She feels entitled and she just wants to be one of the boys. Like her dad, both real and Step. She was raised by wrestlers that were around this type of bullying when it was okay.
Now, here's something. I haven't looked it up or not. Has Rachel Ellering said anything? Because that's where I've first found Tessa Blanchard, is when her and Rachel Ellering were feuding in Shine. So I don't know if they had any history of back and forth or not, if they had some beef. But I know they were together when she was young.
Hey, Chris Mack, thank you for the bits, brother. Appreciate that. Truth and Loyal says, nope, I'm here to get my check now, not get involved in her bull. Says Truth and Loyal, basically. Coquina says, I thought Gail tweeted something. If she did, I did not see it. Maybe you should tweet Gail Kim and see what she said and get blocked.
She probably has Tony blocked anyway.
Yeah. Gail Kim never defend Tessa, but instead she's constantly going against WWE because Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Io Shirai. Why didn't she defend her fellow Impact Wrestling friends in WWE or in Impact Wrestling? Thank you, noob. Appreciate you agreeing with me. You do it before she becomes world champion. There's definitely hate on Tessa, though. You do it before she becomes world championship. Yeah, just not great timing. Alice says, Tony, you need to tweet Gail Kim, see if she's going to respond. Yeah, I'm probably blocked already. Mr. AEW with the long response here. Tessa defenders are weird as hell because she's clearly wrong here. She's a great talent, but the reports of her not having a good attitude have been out for quite some time. Talent shouldn't just give you a pass for being a piece of shit. And these allegations didn't just pop up as she's about to win the title. Tessa played the whole women should support me because I'm a woman card. And people who used to work with her pointed out how it's hypocritical for her to say that shit given her pass. It's not complicated. Doesn't mean you have to suddenly dislike her or anything, but it's pretty obvious that she has a lot in common with Shawn Michaels in his early days. Immensely talented, but probably not that great of a person. In all honesty, I'm still a huge fan, but I'm not going to pretend like her reported behavior, even before this story, hasn't been suspect. at all. That's good point, right? No, nothing from Rachel on Twitter, says Bob Ruski. Gail Kim like it was Vince's fault. Yeah. She would come out saying it was all Vince McMahon's fault that Tessa's racist, right? That's what she would do. Chelsea Green was the same chick who called out New Japan for not having a women's division.
Well, it's true.
Bob Ruski says Tessa maybe with her name has power and talent. We're afraid until one stepped forward. Exactly. She thinks she's bigger than life. She thinks she's the shit. She thinks no woman can touch her. She thinks just because of her name alone that she should never probably lose and that she should be booked over every woman in the company. And that's not how things work. And look, she is one of the best women's wrestler in wrestling right now. But doesn't mean that she doesn't have a shitty attitude.
Man, Tony, I know this is a different topic kind of, but every time you pick someone for Wrestler of the Year or something like that, they have a crappy year.
What is going on? The Jinx is back again? Is that what you're saying? Like,
you jinxed her.
Oh my god! And the funny thing too is that that's one of the since Gainikas mentioned Ricochet is saying, oh, well, she dated Ricochet. How can she be racist? That's like saying I have friends that are black. Like that's that same kind of the comment there. It's so stupid. I had Tessa as my woman wrestler of the year, and Ghost in the chat. I think you're a new viewer in the chat room. I have a bad thing of jinxing certain people. 2 years ago was Finn Balor. Last year was Elias, and looks like it's going to be Tessa Blanchard possibly this year. Well, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you coming in here, and welcome to the Getdatables broadcast. Got lots more to talk about. Are we done with Tessa Blanchard, or do you got anything else you would like to say before we move on?
This just sucks. I mean, it's just bad timing. But I don't blame anyone for coming out and saying what they did because it's the domino effect.
Yeah.
Because once she said something, it just boom, there goes all the dominoes. Everyone started tweeting out about all this crap. And man, you lose a lot of respect for someone. Look, it might not be the same thing, but when the Hogan thing came out, people were so pissed at him about that, and it just everyone. But it didn't come out like that either, you know? But that's the big difference. Is this worse than what Hogan said?
Absolutely. No.
No?
Well, I can't remember exactly what Hogan said, but the allegations of Tessa's, like, remember when he spat in a black woman's face and called her the N-word? That's pretty bad. Like, yeah. I would say that it's kind of hard to say if that was worse than what Hogan had to say, because I don't remember exactly what he said. I think, didn't he say he would kill his daughter or something around those lines? She married a black man or something around those lines?
The only thing I remember is, like, she doesn't need to be messing with a broke guy, but get with one of those rich guys. That's what I remember. I don't know, but he didn't use those words. But, yeah.
So do you think she was going to win, but now that this has happened, she will lose for sure? Hogan was recorded and it was not in question. There is no hard evidence of her stuff I'm aware of, says Regulator 34. I don't think this affects her winning the title tomorrow night at all.
But the difference is... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I feel like Tessa's still going to win tomorrow night.
I was just going to say the difference in this whole situation is when the Hogan stuff came out, he had a lot of people coming to defend him. And then this side, Tessa doesn't. Everyone's coming out and putting her down.
Oh, Hogan said he didn't want his daughter to be with black guys.
Yeah.
I guess Tessa might be a little bit worse than that. All right, so we're going to move on from Tessa to Teddy Hart's situation. I didn't get any on that, but if you guys want to hear about that, just look it up on YouTube. Pretty bad. He had an interview over the week. And didn't Hogan do it twice? I believe Hogan did something racist twice towards black people. It was not a good look. He sparred with Manic, and it's on YouTube, and that podcast interview, yikes, said yes. I've heard Tessa... Hold on. Whoa. Heard Tessa has been in multiple people's faces, and my parents have told me you never let a motherfucker disrespect you and you spit in your face and get away with it. The first time, everyone came to his defense. Second time, I think they distanced from him. Yes, you're correct on that.
Okay, that's true. I only knew about the first time. And yeah, but yeah, these are. I'm not saying they're kind. I don't know if they're similar, but they both said stupid shit.
Thank you for the follow, Ghost, in the chat. Appreciate that, and welcome to the Get the Tables account. Appreciate our chat.
This seems like she's done more harm than good in her career right now.
Yeah, right now it is. Tessa Blanchard with The Rock. The Rock. When did Rock post this? What is this about, Mr. AEW? That was during the Page movie, right? Was that during the Page movie?
Oh, it's right, because she was in that movie.
Was she? I have still yet to see that movie. I've heard so many mixed reviews on that movie. I've heard some people say it's good, some people say it's bad, but I've yet